little bit, but I wanted to bring in my experts in my life as well. So without further ado, before I get started, introduce our special guest today, I definitely want to recommend a couple things. If you would like to take notes, grab a notebook, grab, pen and paper, grab your phone, whatever you may need to take some notes. We're really big on that too. We're talking all things manifesting. There's so much to it. We're definitely going to cover all the basics and get into that. Grab some water. I'm big on H2O. Stay hydrated, please. And I also have a yoga mat. So I'm sitting on a yoga mat right now. So if you, feel like as well, like you're going to want to do that, please feel free. And yeah, we're going to end our session with some Reiki. So it's going to be really exciting as well. All right. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend, Miss Witchy Rickie. Manifesting Rickie, how are you?
Hello, good. I'm so excited.
I'm excited that you're here. So if you guys don't know, I'm really big on manifesting, but I'm also big on Reiki and tarot and all that good stuff. So I just wanted to say, we've done a Reiki session recently. It was one of the most amazing experiences I think I've had in a really long time. It was just really great. A lot of clarity. It was just a really good experience overall. I felt very connected to spirit and all these really cool things. But you are a tarot reader and a Reiki practitioner, correct?
Correct. So,
I love it.
Yeah, stepping into the energy healing space.
I'm all about it. I love that. Oh, I have my crystals too. They're in the other room, but I'm big on those as well. And you actually did use some of those crystals on me during our Reiki sessions. That was pretty cool. But question for you. So how did you kind of get into this? Like what made you feel called to do it?
So it's really once you start to connect more with spirit and intuition and really getting to see what it is that spirit wants to do in this life. And I thought that I had that path, but after further just connection and really intuition and listening to the signs, I was just called to a totally different path from what I do now. And I just said, let's do it. Let's not be scared and let's just have faith and go with it. So that's kind of how I got into the Reiki space. But tarot found me like 10 years ago and just been doing that ever since as well. So yeah.
That is amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm really excited for you to share all of this with us as well today. We're about to get into a presentation that you have prepared for us, which is amazing. So that's why I said, take notes if you need them or screenshots, whatever it is that you need. And also to any questions, please drop them below in the comment box. Leave your questions. We'll get to as many as we can for sure. If you have no questions, that's okay. That means you're absorbing all of this information. You're absorbing the energy. And you are just here to learn. It's gonna be your first time ever even hearing the word manifesting or these terms, Reiki and all these other terms. And that's cool. We love learning. That's the whole point of a Lifehack series, is to learn and to share this knowledge. So maybe this is something you'll be into. Okay, awesome. So without further ado, go ahead. We'll get started.
Awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about today is unblocking your manifestation. So I know that a lot of people probably have experience trying to manifest, and maybe some people don't. So manifesting, I kind of just simplified it into 4 very, very simple steps. There is way more to this, but for the sake of this talk, I definitely simplified it. So first thing in manifesting is you want to set your intention and find out what it is that you want to manifest, right? Is it a relationship, a partner, a car, a new house, whatever. Then you want to connect to the feeling of having what you want. So that is key in manifesting, is really being able to visualize and connect to the feelings of whatever it is, security or love or joy or freedom, that your manifestation will bring you. Next, you want to focus your attention on your manifestation. So this is where the vision boards come in, and the journaling, and the meditating and stuff. And then we have Of course, take action and expand yourself. Everybody likes to think like, yeah, I'm just going to like visualize and it's going to come to me. But if you're not taking the opportunities when they present themselves, then the universe is like, well, what's up? Like, do you want this or not? So
Mm.
that is also very important. So that's very simplified. So, what happens when you're doing all of that and it's not working? It's a sign that your manifestations could be blocked. And blocks could come from conditioning and programming. And that is basically like training to behave in a certain way or follow a certain agenda, which could come from family, from society, from just like propaganda, from your friends. It really comes from everywhere. And that really deals with things that are not in your truth and not in your alignment that you have kind of just like picked up from other people. So that could be
Mm-hmm.
one. Another one is a low self worth. So, self worth is basically like your self esteem, the feeling or belief that you're a good person and that you deserve to be treated with respect, or you deserve a new car, or you deserve a loving relationship, or things like that. So, low self worth is another possible block. We also have the shadow self, and the shadow self is basically aspects that trigger you and cause you feelings of like anxiety, fear, guilt, shame, jealousy. Um, and it's important to pay attention to those triggers and those emotions and be able to work through them. And finally, trauma could be blocking your manifestations. Trauma is just an emotional response to a deeply disturbing event in your life that could be totally hindering you getting what you want. So I'm going to dive deeper into each of these. So
Awesome.
for number one, get clear on what you or soul wants. So you want to be intentional and intuitive with this part. You want to pick something that's going to bring you joy, that's going to stimulate growth and expansion within yourself, and something that brings you a sense of a purpose in this life. So, what could be blocking this is the conditioning or programming. So, this is going to show up in your life as like following what your family wants despite your desires or despite like what it is that you actually like. It could also show up as just following what society says you need. Oh, I need this like master's degree, then I have to do that, which is not always true. And just not being aligned with your highest path, not taking the time to really see what it is that you like and what you want to do. You know that saying, like, what is for you will never pass you.
Mm-hmm.
So when your manifestations aren't coming true, you know, maybe it's not for you. And maybe you need to take the time to align yourself and see really what is for you, what is your truth. So that is one potential blockage. We'll move on to the next one. Oh, sorry. This is how to unblock. Of course, I have to tell you guys how. I'm not just going to say what. So, how to unblock, again, very simplified version. But first, you want to discover what conditioning or programming you have adopted, and you want to dive into the subconscious in order to do that. So,
Mm.
second, you want to find out who, what, when, where, why, how you got this condition or programming. Again, this is all very like subconscious work that can be done through like self hypnosis or, you know, with working with a coach. And the final step is you must recondition and reprogram your subconscious in order to unblock your truest like soul desire. So it's really pinpointing, okay, well, you know, I grew up in a traditional household and my parents expect this, this, and this of me. So then you got that, you know, discovered, okay, this conditioning and programming is coming from my parents. They want me to do this. Now I have to reprogram and kind of rewrite what it is that I want. So, again, getting clear with yourself. So, this can be done through self hypnosis, meditation, just educating yourself on the topic, or even seeing a shaman or a spiritual coach. So, all that can help with conditioning and programming. Moving on to the second step of manifestation, it's connecting to the feeling of having what you want, which I talked about being so important. And this is, believing that you are capable and worthy of accomplishing your goal. So this is where you're going to want to journal about your life now that you have the manifestation. So you're like, now that I have this car, I feel so secure, I feel so safe. Taking the time to do that, deeply visualizing or imagining your life now that you have your manifestation. So just sitting there and thinking about how happy you are in your new job or new home and stuff like that. And affirmations. So saying, now that I have, for example, a loving partner, I feel loved and secure. So what can be blocking this part of the manifestation process is having low self-worth. So this can show up as self-sabotage of, not preparing for the new job interview, or not taking that date that presented itself or something like that. Also, it could present itself as negative self-talk, and not taking up space in your life, so not demanding your needs, being a pushover, being quiet, not speaking up. That's all going to add to the blockages. So how to unblock your self-worth? Well, of course, you're going to have to dive into the subconscious. There is a theme with the subconscious. It all has to work through that. And you want to discover why you believe you deserve less or you're unworthy. So I'm like, who hurt you, boo? Like, who did this to you? And really call it out and know that you are worthy. Just because that person said that or this experience doesn't have to define the rest of your life. Third, you want to disassociate yourself with the mindset or experience that has been put onto you, and you want to start creating that new you. So any label that was put on you, you want to take that label off and you want to rewrite it with something empowering and just powerful. Lastly, and this is the one I think that is like the hardest, is do not settle for less. Like if you wanted to get paid this much at a job and you wanted all of these benefits and the job's like, yeah, we got you on the benefits, but it's going to be lower salary. That's a test. You want to pass the test and you want to say, nope, no, you want to stay in your worth, and you want to trust that the universe has something better for you. So do not settle for less. So this is all about yourself, right? Self-esteem, your self-worth. So the goal is to hop into a different attitude, a different mindset, a different energy field. And this can be done through, of course, training your subconscious, listening to empowering music, doing activities that empower you, daily affirmations that are going to empower you, reading books on self-worth, and maybe even investing in a mindset coach or self-worth coach if it gets to like that level. But there's a lot of DIY options that you can do.
I love it.
Moving on to the third one, focus your intention on your manifestation. This is probably the one that everybody is so aware of when they hear manifestation. So it's just feeding your manifestation like the good vibes. You want to meditate, you want to journal, you want to vision board, you want to say the affirmations, you want to do your little new moon spells, and your visualizations. And what can be blocking your manifestations at this point is the shadow self. So it could be fear or anxiety about the future that starts to swoop in when you're trying to meditate or when you're trying to journal. It could be being triggered or annoyed easily by others, that those triggers then show you that like, okay, I'm triggered by this. I need to sit back and see why it is that I'm triggered by this, or else that trigger is just going to keep taking that energy. And wanting to manifest from greed, selfishness, or ego. Anything like that, if you're not being intentional about your manifestations, then if you're coming from a place of ego, that definitely creates a blockage. Yeah. So how to unblock the shadow self? So it requires you to be real, raw, and honest with yourself. Of course, we got the subconscious in there. You want to pay attention to what triggers you and others. So if you're like, oh, this person is like so annoying, they talk so much, you want to see, well, why does that trigger me? Is it because I'm not speaking up? Is it because I'm not using my voice? Or things like that, just for an example. And you definitely want to call out and see that quality in yourself, or like the reverse, how I just said. And you want to know it's okay, right? Nobody's perfect. We all have these shadow qualities as a part of us, but we don't want to get stuck in that shadow side. We want to know it's okay that we're just human. We have all these qualities, but we are ultimately in control of what we put out there. So no, it's okay. And this can be done through inner work, self-hypnosis, journaling, meditating, reading, and desensitizing yourself on the shadow aspects. So if it's like controlling, if that's a word that you're just like triggered by, controlling, you want to sit in the mirror and call yourself like, I am controlling, until it no longer has an emotional effect on you. So that's like desensitization. So for shadow self, I really recommend Lacey Phillips. She has a great workshop on the Unblock Shadow that I have done, and I'm a part of her membership. It's great. Also reading literature by Carl Jung, if you just want to educate yourself more on the shadow. He actually is the one that coined this concept. And just another book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, which is, again, all about the shadow self and how to be able to integrate that shadow.
Look those up.
Yes. And then the last one is take action and expand yourself. So this is when you dedicate time and action to your manifestation. You want to find expanders and connect with like-minded people. You want to find those people that are doing what you're doing or have what you have, and those are called expanders. And you want those people around you. You want that energy in your life, because that's relates to your manifestation. You want to find and take opportunities, again, that relate to your manifestation. And this is the time to really be authentic, to be vulnerable, and to trust the universal law, especially if you have done all the other steps in this part of that trust, that vulnerability, like, yeah, I am looking for a boo. Yeah, I am looking for a new house or something like that. And then just being able to trust. So this is where the trauma can come in to block this part. People who have experienced trauma may be unemotional or too emotional to start new connections. They may be weary or anxious about that. They may just feel tired, stressed, insecure, to be able to take action, to look for a new job, or, whatever it is. And they may be on a state of high alert and untrusting, which is going to be really hard then to trust that the universe is going to have your back because of that trauma. So how to unblock trauma? First, you want to confront the pain and the emotional distress that this has caused you. Again, this is subconscious work. You don't want to get stuck there. So confront the pain, feel the pain, but don't get stuck there. You actually want to alchemize that energy and rewrite the effect it has on you and on your energy. So basically, you want to find the positive in that experience. So, oh, it made me more resilient. It made me stronger. It made me appreciate life. It made me a mentor to be able to help others, so you want to definitely use that trauma as your superpower, is how you unblock it. So clearly trauma, this is easier said than done to heal. So I recommend seeing a specialist, a therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, a shaman, or a trauma coach. But if you do want to just DIY, do it yourself, daily journaling, daily meditation, this is something that needs to be done every single day consistently. Reading books on trauma, definitely having a safe space or a safe person to be able to talk to. And of course, self-hypnosis, which helps you get into the subconscious. And that is all I have. For more information on healing practices, you can visit my new website, manifestingrickie.com. Is there any questions?
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. I do have a couple questions personally too that I found through your presentation. So one thing you mentioned was like the power of word, right? Like, can you kind of tell us why? And I recently learned this, so there's no shame. Why it's not good or healthy to say, you know, things like, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid for doing that," right? Or "I'm so dumb, I'm an idiot." Like people say those things. I'm very guilty of that. Why is that not good when it comes to manifesting or even just like trying to unblock manifestation?
Yeah, so words have a lot of power. I think it's so funny, like spelling, is like casting a spell. And we
Mm,
cast spells with words, with our words, and that's why words are so powerful. So just how positive affirmations are powerful in your life, those negative self-talk or whatever is also going to have that negative effect on your subconscious. We're talking so much on the subconscious, and that's basically what it does. You're like, oh, I'm so dumb, I'm so dumb. Then you're like training your subconscious to be like, oh, you're dumb, like, because you keep repeating it. And it is just so powerful to do. And I do a little exercise where I take like inventory on my energy at the end of the day, and if it's not on 100%, I say affirmations. And one affirmation can get my energy up so much. So yeah, don't underestimate the power of words, for sure, positive
mm.
and negative.
Absolutely. What about that? When you said you say affirmations, right? For those who may not be familiar with them, what are some good affirmations that can be repeated daily? Maybe when you're, in crisis mode and you just need to like say them to yourself. What are some good affirmations?
Yeah, I actually have them, so funny, as like my phone background. Um, but if you are if you are feeling in a sense of like crisis, let's say, you can always say like, I call back my energy from people, places, or situations that no longer serve my greatest good. That's going to help get your energy back. It's going to reinstate your sovereignty over yourself and over your energy field. You can say, I am purifying and cleansing my energy as I speak. Again, just a little affirmation to help the energy. And my favorite is, I do not consent to any energies that are not in my highest alignment. So it really then helps block out that negative energy just through the words. And you don't always have to say them out loud. I think it is more powerful saying them out loud, but I also am guilty of just doing it in my head, and it's perfectly fine. What you're trying to do is train your subconscious.
Yeah, they say too, like by repetition, that trains your subconscious mind. So basically what will happen is you'll start to see that shift subconsciously, of course, because you're retraining, right? You're reprogramming your mind. So whatever you're starting to say is true. You're like, oh, I am taking back my power. Oh yeah, I am, I'm good, right? I have good energy around me. Or even things like, I am beautiful, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah, no, and even something like that, it does pay off, and you'll see people are like, "Wow, you look so nice today. You're glowing today." And you're like, "Yeah, it's the affirmations."
I love that. Yeah, affirmations are really powerful and they're really a great tool, I feel. That's wonderful. So what about setting intentions, right? One thing that I've read before about setting intentions is you're supposed to speak as if it's already happened. Is that true? Or how would you recommend for the watchers, the viewers, to set their intentions? How do you recommend for us to do that?
Yes, I recommend very detailed intentions. And yes, as if it has already happened. You also want to include a plan of how you got there. So, for example, I use this example a lot, but for example, if I'm trying to like grow a booty, right? It's like, oh, I am so happy with like my big derriere, and I have been working out 3 times a week, and I have been eating this in my diet, like, and I am so confident now, right? You want to include the feeling of how you feel. I'm so confident now, and I feel so good about myself. So very, very detailed. You're including like a time frame. By what time would you like to have whatever you want to have? You want to include how you got there, which is like your plan of action. And then you want to include the feeling of how you feel now that you have this.
I love it. Yes, set those intentions. Very, very specific, be clear. And I love that. Yes, speak as if it's happened. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And make sure to give her a follow too on Instagram. I think you're at Manifesting Rickie, correct?
Correct.
Love it. Love it. And I love the website. I gotta check that out. So before we close out, I definitely want to give everybody a experience, a quick taste of Reiki, which is what you and I have done together. I'll let you take the lead on that. How would you like to do that?
Awesome. So I am going to play some music. And I have like my little visual. All right, I'm going to have to stop sharing really quick. Share.
Yeah, we'll do should we do, if anybody is watching, like that's on, I guess at their house, should they lay on the floor, Reiki, or yoga mat?
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to lay on the floor. You can do it sitting as well. You definitely just want to be comfortable. You want to be relaxed. Close your eyes and just take in the energy and basically just focus on whatever it is I'm saying. Try to visualize what it is I'm saying, and it'll help the Reiki go a lot smoother. So I'm going to start the music. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I invite you to settle in, close your eyes, start taking deep breaths, counts of 4 in, hold for 4, and then exhale 4. You'll continue to control your breath with that magic number of 4. That brings us balance. That brings us alignment, brings us a sturdy foundation. Reiki, thank you so much for the healing energy that we are about to receive. We are so grateful to be in the presence of your healing life energy. I ask that you begin to flow. And I want you to imagine at the base of your spine a red circle. And this red circle begins to spin slowly at first. This is the root chakra. It is responsible for your energy, your safety, your stability, and your comfort. The affirmation for this chakra is I am. I want you to repeat that in your head. And as you repeat that, The red circle orb begins to twirl faster and faster, and it gets brighter and brighter. I am stable. I am secure. Just above the root chakra, by your womb space or your reproductive organs, we have the sacral chakra, orange circle, spinning slowly at first. It is responsible for your sensuality, your sexuality, pleasure, and your sociability. The affirmation for the chakra is I feel. I feel the pleasures of life. I feel confident and happy within my sensuality. I feel. I want you to repeat that affirmation and imagine that the orb begins to spin faster and faster and get brighter and brighter. And right above the sacral chakra, we have a yellow spinning orb that spins slowly at first. This is your solar plexus. It governs your strength, your personality, your power, and your determination. The affirmation for the chakra is I do. I do take charge of my life. I do things that motivate me and strengthen my field. I want you to repeat, I do, in your head, and watch as this yellow circle begins to spin faster and faster and get brighter and brighter. Next, we go up to the heart space, where we find a green spinning orb, spinning slowly at first. This is your heart chakra. It is responsible for love, compassion, acceptance, and sincerity. The affirmation for the center is I love. I love without limits. I love unconditionally. I want you to repeat that affirmation of I love and observe that green chakra spinning faster and faster, getting brighter and brighter, like an emerald diamond. And we move up to the throat, where a blue spinning orb sits, slowly going around. This is your throat chakra. and it is responsible for communication, expression, inspiration, and creativity. The affirmation for the chakra is I speak. I speak my truth. I speak on my creativity. And I want you to repeat that affirmation, I speak, in your head as that throat chakra comes alive, spins faster and faster, and gets bright like the ocean when the sun shines on it. Next, we're going to go to the third eye right between your eyebrows. There's a purple sphere spinning slowly. This is your third eye chakra, and it controls your intuition, your trust, meditation, and lucidity. The affirmation for this chakra is I see. I see beyond illusions. I see the world as I am. I want you to repeat that affirmation as that chakra begins to spin faster and faster. And finally, we go up to the crown of the head. Where an indigo circle meets us, spinning slowly at first. This is your crown chakra. It is responsible for your consciousness, your knowledge, your spirituality, and your fulfillment. The affirmation is I understand. I understand the knowledge of the universe. I understand the universal laws. And I want you to repeat that affirmation, I understand, as that chakra begins to move faster and faster and get brighter and brighter. And now I want you to envision a straight line with all of these energy centers that goes right in the meridian of your body. And they are spinning, they are awake, they are activated, they are cleansed, they are unblocked. And with every inhale, I want you to imagine that you are locking in that Reiki energy deep within your energy centers. And with every exhale, you release the blockages and the clutter that we just cleaned out. I'd like to thank the energy of Reiki for being with us here today. Thank you, Paulina and 1035 for having me. We're so excited to integrate this new energy that we have received today. And so it is.
All right, here we go. Sorry. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. I mean, obviously, that's a shorter version than what you and I have done, but as you can see, it's all about calling in the energy. So I absolutely love it. Make sure to follow Manifesting Rickie on Instagram, yes, and all the social medias. Also to your new website, manifestingrickie.com. And thank you for kicking off the Life Hack series with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Such an honor.
Of course. We'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Any questions or like any, I guess, feedback, drop it in the comments and let me know too what else you guys want to see in the series. I'd love to, take some ideas and actually make them happen. So thank you, everybody.